Grand Rising, Grand Rising, Grand Rising, Grand Rising to the Rising Show with Empress Ella G. No, we're going to play that again later on. Wow, I'm here. I have to say, Empress Ella G, I came in through the door like 90 seconds before this was supposed to go live. How are you doing this morning? So I'm hyped. Oh, she popped out. She's popping back in. Yes, yes. Empress Ella G, you missed the introduction. I saw you there inside, but I say, what happened? She got quiet.
Oh my God, Grand Rising. My you should see me twice. My computer. Hold on a second.
Yeah, you definitely are there twice. Do it a master mix. Do it a Bismarcky. Make the music with your mouth, Ella. I can't do it.
Can you hear me now?
Oatmeal at the same time. You know, I can hear you real good. Everything is knocked off. If you hear that buzzing noise, I don't know. I think my computer is on this at time of the month for the computer.
Oh my God! Listen, I think both of our computers on that time of the month because mine froze. It wouldn't let me speak. So
yeah. They have a way.
To grab my phone real quick.
Yeah.
Grand Rising, Brother Lance. Grand Rising, everybody that's here in the chat.
Yes, like I said, I slid into the home and like going into home base. I had got in like 2 minutes before it was time to go live. You had called me and I ran to grab something. I got up and didn't even eat breakfast. Yeah, I said, okay, Mrs. Scurv left some oatmeal for me here. She's up taking care of stuff with the plants and everything.
Right.
And I had some other business and whatnot. And I'm just watching it like Mission Impossible. Like you got that little fuse on the bottom, you know, burning, want to cross. I'm like, I got 15 minutes. I got 12 minutes. I got 3 minutes. I got to get here.
You ain't got no time left.
Yeah, I was determined. So I'm here. And I've been thinking about this particular topic. This is something that we've always touched on, but I just had to do it today. It just hit me in the spirit to do because so many. Well, tell me how you're doing before we jump into things. You know what I mean? Because I'm a little hyped right now. But go ahead.
You're a whole lot hyped.
Yeah, I'm sweating.
Maybe I should go out and come back. Come back 2 minutes late.
No, but I know everything will work out fine. You know, that's just how it is. We're on a roll. We feel real good. But say good morning to everybody, and then a Grand Rising.
Grand Rising, everyone. Grand Rising, Sister Miko. Good to see you. Hi, Take. Hi, Indigo King. Hi, Queen Irie. Hi, Superman. Hi, Sunkissed. How you doing, sweeties? Good to see you all, and everyone else who hasn't entered the chat yet. Hi. I'm doing well. Grand Rising, Queen Murat. Grand Rising, Linda Perry. It's good to see you. I'm doing good. We kind of was talking about this topic a little bit yesterday after the show. So when I saw the title, I was like, that bugger. Especially the face that's on the banner. I was like, oh my God.
I had to put a recognizable face, or I put every face that I knew was involved in an influential way in the African-American, aka Black Stolen African Church. Then it would be like, you wouldn't see them. It would be like little dots because there's just so many faces involved.
Exactly. So true.
You know, when you talk about something like this, people come to the defense and they start speaking about all of the good things that, you know, the African-American church has done. And like I said, I don't hate the church right now. I just hate what they're doing.
Yeah.
I hate the silence.
Yes.
I hate what they're doing. They're not speaking up. They're behaving themselves. They're not supposed to behave themselves according to the rules.
Away from it. Yes.
They're not challenging. They're not doing what's right. And they're deceiving the people. I can't go with that punk stuff. Let me just say it and just get it out there. I'm not one to use profanity, but the black church is on some punk shit. They're not doing right by the people.
Okay.
And I'm perpetually angry about that.
Yes, and you should be.
If you don't like it, thumbs it down ahead of time, because we're going to get up in the black church's ass.
Yes, today. Yes.
The black church is not what it used to be.
Yes.
Back in the day, and excuse that buzzing, my computer's freaking out, but that's not going to stop nothing anyway. Back in the day, and back in the day before my day, from what I read and from what I hear, that black church was a lifeline for the black community during times of slavery and times even after slavery, when things weren't going too good for us and we knew who our enemies were.
Yes, indeed.
And are. But we knew who it was back then, even though they may not have said it directly in the whispers after the service and during the service in coded terms. We knew what we had to do. That's why with the black church, we never wanted to leave when Sunday came. I understand the argument about Saturday worship, Sunday worship, but it is what it is. Get to church early because we didn't have to look over our shoulder as much. And the slave master knew that, yeah, them niggers are over there. They're controlled. Let them have their day. And they still had somebody watching over us. You know that, right?
Oh, yeah.
Back in slavery, they still had a white man watching over us.
Oh, yeah.
And some of us who are so stupid and so foolish, we still get up when we want to get up to go to the bathroom or go out to check our car. We put our finger up. We put our finger up. What you
we
think?
Don't know why.
I'll tell you why. It was to get permission from that white man who was overseeing the service in the back, making sure the niggas were behaving.
Right. So exactly.
It's best to put your finger up your nose or up your anus. Better than that. So symbolically, you're still worshiping the white master.
Yes. Yes.
Putting your finger up and doing this stupid dip walk. Not even just walking normal. You're doing little coon walk.
Hunched over.
Like they're doing something wrong.
Yes. Yes.
It's crazy.
Yes.
What I'm saying is that it's like every Sunday in black churches across America, the collection plates, they put their tithes and they put their offerings. And they're so happy to get it. And the very next day, what happens? They take that money and deposit in a bank. A church bank account. Billions of dollars, if not billions of dollars. I'm being nice by saying millions.
Oh, it's billions, Brother Lance. Say it as it is. Say it like it is. Let's be real. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
And we have about $1 trillion in America to spend every year. And billions go to the church.
Yes.
And we're still living impoverished. We're still not doing for ourselves. And we'll do without. That's why I say it's mass retardation. No other people does this. We're the only ones that bring this religion into play that's not doing a damn thing for us.
You see, I've been in quite a few white churches. Quite a few. And yes, they're all about their Jesus and their God, and they know why, but they don't behave the way we behave. You know, they don't behave the way we behave. And one of the things that I feel really messes up the black church nowadays is because the pastors have not only cooned out themselves, but they've gotten greedy. They've gotten greedy. You see what I'm saying? So they're no longer looking out for you. They're looking out for number one, which is themselves. That's the saddest part of this whole thing. So they're easily bought. You know, not only from the collection plate, but from that same white overseer that's standing in the back. Now, you may not see them directly standing in the back, but they're in the shadows somewhere, standing in the back, making sure that that pastor stays in line. They don't even care about the people in the pews anymore, because as long as they can keep the pastor in line, they know the pastor will keep the people in line. But the bullshit. You know,
even more so than that, like I said, when the tithes and offerings are collected, taking those millions and yearly billions to these banks, are they black-owned banks?
Of course not.
Are they black-owned banks that will give us our mortgages?
Nope.
For those of us who have earned the right to get a mortgage, but we still take our money, give it to the pastor, and he brings it to a bank that's white owned or owned by somebody else 99.9% of the other times.
Yes.
There may be some black owned banks that get some of that money, but still they're weak. They're too weak to serve the community.
Right.
And they have to bow down to somebody else because they don't operate in a bubble. They don't operate on their own.
They don't.
We don't understand this, right? But the thing is that when we get this money and put it in these banks, it benefits somebody that doesn't look like us, and it flows into other communities. So your white Jesus money, as Dr. Umar Johnson said, because he used that term, the Jesus money. I do not verbally plagiarize anybody. I give credit where credit is due.
Right.
But you that Jesus money and you bring it down to the white-owned banks.
Yes.
Who take that money and benefit themselves and their communities and their financial institutions and undergirding their communities.
That's true.
So your Jesus is a damn double agent who ain't doing a damn thing for you. Your Jesus is a turncoat Benedict Otto, and you licking the crud from between his toes after he stepped in some dog doodle, and you loving it.
Oh my God.
It's like chocolate cake because it came off of Jesus' foot. You're retarded. You're developmentally delayed because show me a white church. Show me a white church that brings their tithes and offerings to a black bank or brings this money collectively to help the black community. But we do.
None. There is none. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. There is none. There is absolutely none that would do that.
We get caught. Oh, God doesn't see color. Well, your Jesus money is green in America.
But it's not in your community.
And the white banks take the black money that looks green from your foolishness with this Jesus character. And that's why your community could never do anything for itself. Because we got money. Black people got money in America. As a collective. Yeah. But the powers that be won't even let a celebrity or a movie star or a businessman take some money and do something.
In our community. It can't happen. It's
against the law.
Yes,
the unwritten law is that it's against the law to do anything for the black community. You must keep them poor and subservient and then bring in little pennies to you, the other businesses who are allowed to come into your community, the Koreans and the Indians and the Arabs and everybody else who don't like you, but you can't take your money and do something for yourself. And Jesus, your white Jesus, is the biggest traitor to your pockets. And you pray to him, but you give him your money.
Yes.
Stupid. Y'all are retarded, and somebody needs to say it. Oh, you can't say that because, those are good God-fearing people. Yeah, they're God-fearing people, but what God?
Exactly.
The white God that doesn't do anything for you.
Yes,
oh, he's talking hate talk. Well, tell me I'm wrong. I don't know the figures off the top of my head, but I've read enough, and everybody in this chat room is intelligent enough to know what I'm saying is true. And I'm not saying this because it's me. I'm not here to hear myself talk. We all know this stuff, but we need a brush up course on what's going on every now and then. We ourselves as conscious people fall and lull into a sleep, and we need to step up and talk about it. They come in the corner with their tracks, and God loves you, and Jesus loves you. If I see this white Jesus in my face, I'm gonna lay him out, damn it. I'm sick of what he's doing to the people out here. Got us all twisted up. They can do to us what they want to do to us, and we can't retaliate because Jesus don't like that.
That's so true.
Get that out of my face.
Let's right. That's right. Let's talk real. Let's talk real. Yes.
This dude here, man, I'm going to tell it, man. I don't care if he listens or not. This dude out here in Ghana, I was on the bridge that time, and, I'm talking to these two brothers came up, and they were talking. I let people talk. I let them talk. The guy was into the religion. He was a Muslim at one time. Now he's a Christian. And the other one, he didn't know no better. And he's talking. So I said, let's see what people are all about. I'm not going to, no. I'm going to cut the camera off. You can't talk that stuff. I said, let him talk.
Right.
You might have a fruity dude come on and talk, or let the people, let me show you what's really going on out here. I'm not going to change the narrative of the majority of what's going on out here, but I'm going to show you what I'm up against. So the dude was like, man, I like doing that, man. We got to do some more. I want to talk to the people that say, okay, on my channel, they're going to fry you. They're going to get you. I'm like that old father who got like 5 sons that are professional boxers. And I'm like, everybody try to put their hand on me. But when my sons get on you, that's a wrap. I don't got to do nothing. That was bad back in the day. I ain't got to do nothing right now. When you see who's behind me and with me, you'll be straightened out. And like I said, it's my job to show you the authenticity of the ignorance that's here. So the dude was like, let's meet up on a Saturday. Let's meet up on a Saturday and we can do a good videotape and we can talk to the people about religion, about politics, and all things Ghana. I said, dope, because this is a dude that was born and raised here and he can give it. And I can. So I got my tripod, my batteries were charged. I brought my cameras out there, had my little bag. You know, I always keep a different size bag. I brought the bigger bag this time because I was going.
You were ready.
Yeah, we were ready. We were going to do a hit. So he showed up and he said, well, listen, the bottom line is that we need to take a little run really quick. I got to do something and we can do it like another hour or two. I said, no problem. The Trocho, aka the commuter van, and we went somewhere kind of far away, transferred to. I'm like, I wasn't scared. The dude was like, all right, and if he tried anything, he would have been, his dentist would have been
known who's who. Exactly.
I'm cool. I don't walk in no fear out here, nowhere, right? I am not tough man or Superman, but I'm on a mission, and I know I'm protected by the divine forces of the universe. So we end up at this church, and there's a service going on. But he said he had to meet this guy, right? So he says, come on in.
Right.
In. He says, I don't see him. We're going to sit here for a while until he shows up. So here I am months ago, sitting up in the church service.
Right.
So I know how it goes. I know the talk. I know the jargon. I'm actually enjoying the scenario like, this is confirming everything I already know. So after a while, I started to say to myself, where is this guy? We sitting here 45 minutes. And he's whispering to me, how are you enjoying it? I said, well, we got something to do, or I got something to do. I got to hit them streets and get this footage. Yeah, but he'll be here soon. Wouldn't you know, I sat there for about 3 hours. But before the 3 hours was over.
3 hours.
Yeah, this dude tricked me to sitting up in a church service and he was going to convert me after seeing the channel the night before, after we did the videotape, the prior videotape.
Right,
That's what it was. I'm going to bring him on. And you see, talk to me directly yourself.
Exactly.
Bring me in there and sit back and try to trick me like everybody going to work on him now. And I knew it because, see, the people, as soon as I got in there, they would give me this look like, oh, we got a new one now. Look like he a big fat American too. Probably got a lot of money. And I'm sitting here like, wait a second. And I realized it. In the minute I said, you know what? Let me go make a phone call. And I brought my bag with me. Oh, you can leave the bag here. I said, no, I'm going to keep my bag with me, man. There's a lot of money of equipment inside of this thing. So I went to the side outside. All of a sudden, it wasn't no call I had to make. I just was looking to break out of there. I was going to time it. A big water drop hit me in the head. Ping. Then another one. Ping, 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 ping. Man, it started pouring down, raining, and I did not know exactly where I was. It rained so hard, I got back in the church. That's why I ended up being there for 3 days. I was hot, cooking, mad.
Oh my God.
And then now the service was over, and here come they send the shapeliest, prettiest girls over to me. And how did you like the service, brother? I said, I loved it. It was very entertaining. Entertaining. I said, yes. Well, do you have a church home? I said, no, and I'm not really interested in having a church home. I am my church. God is inside of me. There's nothing external that I need anywhere else.
Right.
I'm free. I'm not enslaved anymore mentally and spiritually and physically. Well, physically, I've been enslaved for the last 3 hours, but I'll let that one pass. Well, why are you speaking this way? Don't you know the Lord loves you? I said, well, if the Lord loves me, he loves my family, right? Yes. If the Lord loves me, he loves my forebearers, right? Yes. I said, well, over there in America, they had a thing called slavery. And the Lord don't seem like he loved me because he didn't come to save me. Now they looked at him. We got one of them Farrakhan niggas over here. And so they said, well, everything in due time, and there's a reason why we have to suffer. I said, so now he's ordaining our suffering where everybody else doesn't have to suffer. Well, other people, I said, I'm not worried about other people. I'm talking about my own forefathers. I'm talking about how we are in the world today. I'm talking about how we at the bottom rung right now, and everybody seems to be glazed over like that episode of Star Trek where they got hit by the spores and everybody was walking around post-orgasmic, like they just had an orgasm. Like, yes, everything is beautiful. We got so much suffering. It's like, how can we even enjoy a damn orgasm, the pain we go through?
Exactly.
The only thing we can get is get a nut and get quickly reminded, once it wears off and you wake up, you're in hell. Well, we as Christians have to endure. I said, well, I'm not here to endure nothing. I ain't trying to be no Christian. Where was he? I said, you're taking this money and you worshiping this man. I see everybody sitting here with a screenshot.
Can you imagine?
The pastor in their phone. I said, how many? And he was standing close by and I didn't give a damn. I said, how many of you all he's sleeping with? How many of you are giving money to him? I said, he's up here pimping and you all don't know a damn thing.
That's right.
We can still take your information. And when I put the information down, I made sure they saw. I didn't put ScurvMedia@gmail.com. I put Lance@LanceScurv.com. One was wise enough. So that's your name and you have a website? I said, yes, I do. And that's when the pastor came closer to me, make sure to break it up. We don't want him going to he got a website. I could only imagine what he has on there. I said, yeah, feel free to come on there and check out what we do. You understand? We share a little bit of knowledge. I don't know everything, but I share what I know and we speak truth. You see, because you're not going to get anywhere sitting here being pimped like this.
That's right.
They don't want somebody from the outside to speak something a little different. If what I'm saying is a lie, challenge me. I can't quote your scriptures. I don't know it like that. I was raised in the church also. But not like that, though. My mother didn't do that to me. She went because she sung, and she sung in many different churches, and she showed me other ways of spirituality. So it wasn't like she indoctrinated me, but I had friends of mine who were in that, and I would go because I used to like the girls that were going to these church. My motivation wasn't no white Jesus. My motivation was some pretty black skin when I was a little preteen. All right?
I know. But, you know, you're right. And one of the things that they use to bind us are the songs. You know, it's one thing to talk about reading scripture, and we know a lot of these pastors, especially the ones that are just trying to do their own little street front thing. They don't know the Bible, you know, the way the big churches know the Bible. They just know what they know from what they heard coming up, and they just regurgitate the same thing over and over and over again. Exactly. But they use songs. Because I know there are many of us right here in this chat and listening that we know that we've stepped away from this whole bullshit, you know, and the white Jesus and the whole 9 yards. But guess what? If they put a certain song on the radio or you're on the TV and you hear a certain song that you grew up listening to that is embedded in your psyche and your subconscious, what happens? What happens? All of a sudden, you find yourself, you know, either you're singing it or you're humming it or you're feeling a certain way about it. And a lot of the times, some of these songs, they weren't written by us, right? Number one, a lot of them weren't written by us. And when you sing it and you hear the words you're singing, you know, they're calling people wretched and this and that. And that wasn't us, people. That was not us. It was a lot of those same slave masters and ship captains that were bringing us all, you know, over from Africa, you know, and after their 10th trip, and they saw the horrors and the way that they were treating our people, and they got a bout of conscience, and they tried to correct themselves, and they realized that they were doing something terrible. Okay? Conscience would hit them and they would sing out these songs to their God, asking for forgiveness. Okay? They would sing it out and they will call themselves wretched and no good and vile and this and that and the next thing. And then guess what? It gets trickled down and it gets trickled down and it gets into the black church. And then the black ones who start writing songs similarly. Right? And then we start calling ourselves vile and wretched and sinful. And now we're going to be washed white as snow, white as snow.
Wash me white as snow. And they got the blue cream down the block for you to do just that.
Yes. And we're crying out. We're not wretched. We're not wretched people. We're not vile, evil people. But we have put that mark on ourselves because of what they sing, because of their lifestyle, the horrors that they did to us. So listen, I know I struggle with that. That's why I speak it like that. I struggle with it because I can't tell you that I stepped away from Christianity 10 years ago. Yes, when I had my first child, I walked away from church because several people in the church said certain things to me, which if you're a so-called Christian, you should never say to a young girl. Okay? And that hurt me to my core. And I stepped away. I wanted nothing at all to do with church. And it took me years and years and years and years and years and years and years before I actually started going back again. And one of the other things that a lot of us need to talk about, it's not just, you're praying to a white Jesus and they have us bamboozled. Nowadays, when we are struggling, and we're looking for answers, right? We turn we turn back to church, okay? Not knowing that we have everything inside of us. We can speak to the universe. We can speak to the creator ourselves. We can get the answers that we need from within ourselves. So we turn back to church because we're looking for help. Okay, let's be real. Let's be goddamn real. Excuse my French this morning. We're there because we're looking for help. We're looking for something. And those people cannot help us. They do not help us. Okay? They'll tell you, give us your tithes and your offering, and God will bless you. Right? And they will give you the story. And this is where I get angry, Brother Lance. I get angry at the money part of it. Okay? Because you get to a
Big time.
place you get to a place where if you know how to read, you can start reading for your damn self. We have the internet nowadays. There's too many arguments and conversations going on nowadays that we can't start doing a little bit more research for ourselves, and saying, wait a minute, something don't seem right here. Okay? But the money part of it is what gets to me. Okay, because you will have our same black pastors, they will take on the language of the white pastors that are coming in and trying to swindle us and tell you that they were in dire straits and they gave $1,000, and within that same week, and I'm talking because I got caught up in that
Mhm.
trap. Within that week, they were blessed with $10,000. Okay? And what do you as a jackass do? What do you as a jackass do if you're
The
looking for
same thing
help?
they
Hmm?
did.
You'll give your last damn dollar. You'll give your last dollar because you're saying, I know God is gonna bless me because I'm giving this from my heart and I'm giving this, purely and what have you. And you give that dollar. You give that $10. You give that $100. You give that $1,000 because you want $10,000. Okay? And what
Read, man.
happens? What
Exactly.
happens? A week passes and you're deeper in the shithole than you were before because you gave everything that you had. You gave everything that you had, and there's nothing to come back to you because who gave that white man that $10,000 after he gave $1,000? His friend over there gave it to him, or the church people gave it to
Mhm.
him in their tithes and offerings. That's how he got that $10,000. That's how he made whatever he made. Okay? But you can't go to them and say, Pastor, well, you know what? Let me back up a second. Let me back up a second.
Tell it. Tell it.
You can't go to a black pastor. You can't go to a black pastor and say, Pastor, I'm in need. Can you help me? For the most part. But you can damn sure, because I know it for a fact, you can go into a white church. You can go into a white church and you can say, I have a need. And they will try to figure out a way to help you. You know why? Because it's their damn Jesus that they're praying to. And they know that when they have a need, their white Jesus will help them. But the black man don't know who's helping him. The black pastor don't know
Right.
who's helping him.
Mhm.
So he can't help you. he can't help you, because whatever you give him, he's got to make sure that him and his family are taken care of. That's where I get pissed off. And I get pissed off all the fucking time because of that. Because I gave away a lot of money. I gave away a lot of money. Now, I'm going to back up and say this too. I'm going to back up and say this too. I have been blessed. Okay? Because I know the Creator knows our ignorance. Okay? The Creator knows our ignorance. The Creator knows that we've been bamboozled. All right? So when you earnestly speak out your need, when you earnestly speak out your need, that same loving Creator that put us as melanated Black people on this planet will put somebody in your path to come to your rescue. I'm never going to tell you that no Jesus or no God came down and knocked on my door. But you know what? Someone that looks like me or looks like somebody else will come to my rescue with whatever I needed. All right? So you do get answers, but you don't get answers from who you went to looking for answers. It's never going to happen.
What you just said, I'm going to wrap it down right now. What you just said is the truth. And we're the only ones who can't see that it's about the collective economics. We just can't see it. Everybody else, for some reason, can get that, but we don't see that. And it's the ritual of stepping into a church for the first time, or a new church for the first time, and you're down and out. They got a thing called love bombing. You can Google that. You'll find it. Let me see if I can Google it right here. So maybe I can read off some of the things that they do. I mean, off the top of my head, I can remember it anyway, but let me just see if I could find it. Okay, love bombing. And it may not be, these articles may not be about the church, it may be about dating, but it's the whole concept of love bombing.
Right.
Okay. Let's see. And I think this is in the context of dating and the manipulation and whatnot. So let me just see if it is. Let me just see if this fits our narrative. If it doesn't, we'll make it fit by our understanding. Okay, here it is. It's been widely reported that the term love bombing was coined by a religious cult in the 1970s, where its leaders weaponized love for their own gain. And its modern meaning doesn't veer too far off course. Love bombing is inundating a person with adoration and attention to the point that it gets overwhelming. In the beginning stages of a relationship, a love bomber's displays of affection. Now, this is not a church thing. This is a dating thing, but we can turn it over in our mind. Flower deliveries, sweet notes, flattery, and other grand gestures are pretty textbook. However, all this attention is manipulative. Though manipulative behavior can be hard to notice when it's actually happening, and it can happen at any stage of the dating lifespan, it's easy to spot when you know exactly what to look for, right?
Right.
Okay, we give a list here, but it's under the context of dating. But I'm just going to turn it over at the top of my head on what I know. You step into that church and all the members, or most of the members, in a zombie-like glazed over fashion with their smiles on their face, are so welcoming.
Yeah.
I mean, the pastor doesn't have to give them the word to do this. They just, welcome, sister. I'm so glad you're here. Welcome, brother. I'm so glad you're here. And see, they can collectively see the pain on your face if you happen to be going through stuff, which is most of the time when we do find ourselves at a new church. For those of us who think church is the answer, you know, we all jacked up, just got through a bad breakup, or our money's real bad, or we're in a new city and we're scared. We don't know nobody. So we go to the church because we can get to know some of the people there. We're just in a state where we're needy and they know it. And they're going to portray as though that they're the ones who have the answers to everything and all of our needs. And we just suck it on up and they just keep giving it to us until they own our minds, bodies, and souls. And the pastor has them do this automatically. I don't know if they sit down and train them like that, but when you walk into a church, it's the same feeling as when you walk into a new car dealership and you're dressed up and you got jewelry on. They're like, oh, wow, this person has money. And you have all these white men, 25 of them, coming out from the back offices wanting to shake your hand. I said, what kind of country am I in? I'm in. All these white men smiling at me, wanting to shake my hand. Something's up. Same thing in the church. But when they look like you, or it's a mixed crowd and most of them look like you take it better. The sisters have other sisters come and embrace them and come, let me take your child. Let's take them to the daycare part of the church and they can have fun. And you see a little child there with some ice cream and playing with the other kids. They love bombing the kids. Mommy, I like it here. I want to come back. And so they're there. You see, if you're a single woman who's going through stuff, they love bombing you. You see the handsome young men who are smiling, acting decent. You have the sisters who act like they're not into the gossip and hating on you, and they embrace you. And at the end of it, do you have a church home? We welcome you. And you're up there crying and they're hugging you up. And you just know you found utopia. You just know you found heaven on earth. You just know you found that place that you always yearned for, but was always disappointed when your friends turned their back on you, when you were on a job and you got fired and you thought the people on the job, but you were cool, but they don't call you no more.
Exactly.
Now you found it. And in your mind, you dedicate your life to this place. And some of them will help you. What's your profession? What are you into? Oh, you don't have one? You were cleaning at a hotel? Well, we have a hookup with some jobs. Next week, they get you in a job. You don't have much fare. They'll even give you a little money to have a little cab fare to get to the work back and forth.
Yeah.
They may have a jalopy in their yard, one of them, and they'll give it to you. And you're like, these people have done so much for me.
They reel you in.
Give back. They got your soul now. You're totally indebted. Now you're on your feet and you can't tell them nothing that the white Jesus didn't come and save you now.
Exactly.
You get testimony. Yes, it was Jesus that came. I had nobody. And these people who love me, they just show it. One gave me a car. One gave me some money. One brought me some food. And they kept coming to my house to check up on me, make sure you can't tell me there's no Jesus. But now they're going to get more out of your tithes and offerings over the next
Exactly. And every month or every week, depending on how you budget you do your budget every, like my mother was a master bookkeeper. Trust me, little bit of education, but she was a master bookkeeper. Okay. And every month when she paid her bills, because she paid her bills monthly, I'm not saying that we don't all pay our bills monthly, but she consolidated to where everything got paid at a certain time every month. That 10% was right there. That 10% was right there.
No different than a crack dealer. They get that when a new crack house opens in the hood, they keep so much cocaine in that crack, so pure, it blasts your head off. So all the crackheads get, man, they got some good stuff over there, man. And they'll give you some for free. Go tell the other crackheads. And so now they'll dilute everything after a while, and you go into that crack house looking for the same hit that you got when you first went there, and you can't get it no more. Like you said, when it's time to get some help, you can't get help from them. If you don't do what they say, the love bombing stops, and you're on it, and you will do anything to get that feeling again that you first got when you stepped foot in that church. The people don't come around as much anymore. The people don't smile with you as much anymore. You did something wrong where you need love. What did I do wrong? And you want to reach out and get this thing again.
Right.
Unless you do what it is that they want you to do. And the pastor always has his imps. He always has his other people that come around. Why is it that when you first step foot in a new church, they want to come by and greet you? Can't you greet me here? Ain't I here right now?
Exactly. They want to come see how you live.
They want to see how you live, so they can come back and report to that pastor. You want to all of a sudden have to use your restroom. And when they're in the restroom, they open up the medicine cabinet to see if you want psych meds, to see want any birth control. Wait a second, she's a single woman. Why she got birth control pills up in here? There must be a man in her life, and she must be screwing. The pastor don't like that because the pastor got to get his hands on the single women. How many toothbrushes are in the thing? Okay, she got 2 kids, she got 2 sons. How come there's 7 toothbrushes? And there's one real big one right there that look like it's a man's. They look at the medicine cabinet to see if there's any medicine there for a man. They look for man clothes, man shoes, man presents.
Right.
And if there's a man there, why isn't he there with you at the church? But they don't say anything. They bring back their information and they speculate. They drive by later on, all of them the imps working.
All hours of the night looking to see.
So another car parked up in the drive. There was a guy up in there. Could be your brother.
Yes.
Don't necessarily have to be your man, but they are watching you and scoping you because you mean so many thousands of dollars per year to them. It's not about the times you pay every week.
Yeah.
When they get a new member, that could be a new car.
That's
when
right.
they get a new member,
Yes.
that could be a payment on a condo for a year for that side chick that he's keeping, or two.
Right.
You know, the pastor got to have his fun too. You know,
right.
The first lady, she don't care. She getting hit off. She getting a little money. She don't care what the pastor do. She getting older. Her sex driving ain't as much. She appreciates the help. Just don't disrespect her in her face.
Exactly.
But all I'm saying is that with the Jesus money, when it goes down to the white banks and all these other establishments, nobody's reciprocating with that. That money is not being circulated back in that community. When you look on the curb, where that church is, you'll see the condoms and the crack pipes from the sexual business deals that were done the night before, which shows that in that community is still rotten and ailing and sick and needs help. But that church stands there like this iconic mansion in the middle of the desert. Oh my God, that's the answer. And you see all the people coming in luxury cars and stepping with the church hats, stepping over those things that happened the night before.
Don't even want to have it cleaned up. Exactly.
Down the block is a liquor store, the crack house, the whore house, all kind of houses, gambling house, everything you want to do. Police tape still out there from the night before when the brothers got killed. And also, the black church don't cater to the black man. The black church is against the black man unless you're an effeminate black man or emasculated.
Tell it. Yes.
You better be subservient to that pastor because he has to groom non-threatening men. That's why them church boys, when they go downtown to the white jobs and have connections to that church, they always get the job because our boys are not going to be a threat. Our boys are not going to think about the community. Our boys are not going to stand up strong and be real men who want families, real families, and tell the families what the deal is. When you're the father of your household, ain't no pastor supposed to come in there and tell you what the hell to do.
That's right.
We need pastor to come and help us out. And you like a fool telling the pastor what's going on in your bedroom.
Well, and he's just smiling.
I just don't think it's right. Now here, some of these men now, I've heard it. I don't think it's right. It feels good, but my wife loves to go down on me, and I don't think it's Christ-like that she does that. And he's like, oh, okay, really? He pulls me aside, brother, you're right. You need to keep her. That's a sinful desire. And then he wants to talk to her on the side. And he's charming her. Oh, she likes to gobble up the goop. Come on with it, sister. We're going to give you a special consultation. Show me, because I'm the closest one to God. And if you get down on your knees, and we're not talking to pray, and you get down on your knees in front of me, trust me, I will feel heaven and you'll be closer to heaven. So sucking past this thing is helping you to get closer to God. It ain't helping you to get closer to no God. It's helping him to get closer to saying, oh God, that's good. I feel good. You're sucking on my wood. So good. So good. Yeah, I know I'm going off here, but I've seen it. I've seen it so much. I've seen it in real life. That pastor that used to come to my old girlfriend's house and slip me $20 back in 1981 to watch his Cadillac around the corner so he can go upstairs to the second floor and screw my old girlfriend's older sister. And my old girlfriend's mother was down in the first floor. She had lupus, right? So she couldn't climb the steps as strong. Sometimes she was off. So her bedroom was on the first floor, right? And little did she know when she was saying, y'all making that noise up there, cut it down. That was a pastor nailing her daughter.
My gosh.
She would turn around and go to the service the next day, the next morning. And she's sitting there and the pastor's prophesizing good things over her life. A load up in her daughter the night before, and she had no clue.
My gosh.
I've seen the height of dysfunction.
Yes.
Father sitting down there drunk and molested all his kids over all them years, but he didn't like the pastor because see them kindred spirits know each other. And he in there with the Cadillac around the corner with his Jerry curls and gold teeth. Sounded like that guy. She got papers on me. Had a little light voice. Hey, brother, I worship the Lord too, and I have a sanctified position in the church, but I'm still a man. Trying to explain to me. I said, "Come on, man, get out of here. I know what time it is. Give me that $20. I'll watch out for you, caddy. You take more time, I'm gonna smash the windows and make you pay me some more. Get out of here." I've seen too many of them. They want to hug up on the church sisters, and they know that they're married, want to hug up and push up on their breasts.
Oh, I've been down that road.
It feels so good.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Man, using this stuff for their own thing. I knew of a deacon in a church who used to go on the church computer when nobody else was around and go there and watch porn and jerk off in the church. I'm going to tell it like it is.
What?
Masturbate, jerk off, shoot cum. I'm sorry. And then sit up there in the church, and he got 2 or 3 women in there, and one of them used to ride the bus with me. I'm so in love with him. And they line their behind off. Why do we give passes to people who are in churches? Because they're in a church. You see, they know that all you got to do is go to a church and talk holy and talk to the sisters holy, and you drop it off. But a brother in the street who might really love you, who may not be in the church, who might be a little rough around the edges, but doing the right thing, working a job.
They don't want that person.
Boaz. And like I always say, you looking for the Boaz, but half of them jokers in the church are looking at your ass.
Brother Lance.
That's what it is. And we stay up and down paying our tithes, making sure the panty line is right there.
Just right. They can see
and one part of the panty line is pulled up in the cheek a little higher. Attention, and you drop the money and bend over, and you hope these men look at you. And you using your sexuality and your sexiness, which of course you can't hide, but you put a little extra wiggle in your backside so Boaz can check out your ass.
That is so true. That is so true.
Look, I used to always notice how high the sexual tensions were in church. I wasn't no stupid kid now. I was a little 12-year-old looking at them grown women too. I'm like, look at her. They look like 50-foot women to me back then. I wasn't dumb. I was enlightened very young. I knew what time it was. I saw the glances of the husbands looking at some of these women and some of these women up in some of these men's faces and how they do. I used to overhear and listen to things acting like we in there playing a little board games. We steady listen to what's going on with the pastor in his consultation with the sisters.
Yes.
And people say, these are mere men. We're talking about God. This is God's house. What makes it God's house?
It's people.
More the place that we've agreed to get together, and now you turn it into a business where you got to spend money to keep the bills going. Granted, I understand that, but we have kids in the neighborhood, children in the neighborhood with nowhere to go except the park, and it rains, you got to come inside, or just the corners. Why don't we take that brick and mortar mentality and open up a youth center for the children so we can teach them? But you bring Jesus money to the white banks, and the white banks are doing everything for everybody else, giving them loans, the Koreans, the Arabs, and everybody else, the Chinese.
Sticking them in your community to disrespect
we don't have nothing for our kids. And they looking at our kids like they're predators, and there's no opportunities. Slap some computers up inside that youth center for the children. And have it open 24 hours, and have one of them retired brothers who may have been a law enforcement, a military, and some of the people who they're going to be up all night anyway, and let them stay in there and have a place for the kids to congregate, even if it's 3 in the morning. 3 in the morning. You can know that you can go there, and you better act right. You can get on the computer. You ain't going to get on there for no Facebook, whatever. YouTube, maybe, if it's something educational.
Exactly.
You have discussions, and you have elders that are in direct contact with those children. Not no dress up and put your suit on and sit down and behave yourself and watch these adults play church, and you see what's really going on in their spirit.
Tell it.
Show me something real for the children, and invest in them for the future.
Yes.
You got to have rims on your pimp car, Pastor. Why can't we have them computers, and why can't we have a place to stay, or where people can donate food, because we got a lot of hungry kids out here who live in nice homes, but the parents don't give a damn with their addictions.
You know what I love?
All the time.
I love those. Exactly. I love those churches that want to see your yearly tax statement before you can become a member. I know that for a fact. Because when we first got down to West Palm Beach, and looking around for a church, blah blah blah, saw this church in a really nice area, nice looking church and everything, right? And we got there, and we're at the door. We never even got into the sanctuary section of the church, because it was like they gave us a piece of paper and they wanted us to fill out these before we got into the church, before we got into the church.
I know.
You know?
They want to see what you're working with.
Yes.
Show me what you're working with.
Yes.
Shake the cash. Go to the ATM. Show me what you're working with.
Yes. And my husband was like, "Excuse me?" You know, so we just turned around and went back out. Turned around and went back out. Okay? We have churches nowadays with ATM machines inside the church. So you have no excuse for not putting money in the offering plate, especially when they have quote unquote guest speakers. You have no excuse for not putting money in the offering plate because there's the ATM machine right there. So if you can't put any money in there and you can't go to the ATM and get some money, what are you doing here? Why are you here? Why are you here?
It shouldn't be about money. We should meet somewhere. Even on a church level. First of all, it's too much damn pressure for most people. It's become a fashion show. If you don't have enough clothes, you feel bad. You got to do your hair to look right for the Lord. You got to push them titties up together to look right for the Lord. No, you try to entice the pastor. You got to wear the high heels. It's so much sexual stuff from growing up and young. I was a lusty little kid. I was just, wow, how come? I'll go to church. Fine. I love looking at the women.
Right.
I saw how they were. I saw what was on their spirit. And we're not saying all of them. We're not saying that everybody who goes is caught up in this stuff. Right. But if you go and you see this stuff, why are you still there? When you see this fake, false, paper-thin, cardboard cutout hierarchy, why are you still there?
Yes.
When it's so fleshly, why is it? Look. I'm not going to say I would ever be a pastor. I ain't trying to do that. But we all think about how we would run things when we see politicians. Well, I would do this. Or we have a pastor. Well, I would do this. Well, what would I do?
That's true.
You ain't bringing no money. Number one, we're going to meet up under some makeshift something. That not a tent, but somewhere on an open field, somewhere that somebody donated this land and it protects us from the rain. And all you have to do is wear sweats.
Come as you are.
Sweats and sneakers or a t-shirt. Come as you are. But you ain't dressing up on a worldly level, number one. You ain't dressing up in no European level. You're covering your shit. Excuse my French.
Exactly.
I'm not saying if you're a well-shaped woman that you're demonized. No. But we know. When we're doing a little extra for a little attention, keep your eyes off the women that way. If we're there for spiritual ascension, that's what we're there for. We should be thinking about nothing else.
Right.
They say, well, the woman's hair is her glory. Pull that bad boy back in the bun and slap something on top of it. You ain't got to worry about even frying it, dyeing it, lay it to the side. Just on top of that bad boy. Wash your backside. Come there clean. You don't need no makeup. We're there to focus on something higher. We're there to focus not only just on the higher spirituality, but what we need in our neighborhood and our communities. What is the need?
Indeed. Right.
Walk around and gossip and talk around. Go and comb the neighborhood and find out where the issues are, where the problems are. This could be some old lady sitting up in her house with all she gets is Social Security. Grass is high up to the shoulders and she's eating dog food. Find that lady and bring her out and show her some love. And while she's out, you take her out. You do her hair.
Right.
Do her hair.
Right.
Give her an outfit. The pastor don't need no more alligator shoes. And when she's there, have somebody trustworthy over there packing her shelves out with food, cutting her grass. You know, a roofer and she got a leak in her roof. Go on there and collectively, let's get this money and make sure she has heaven on earth before she goes. Because a lot of these churches, when you become elderly and you get older, they don't give a goddamn about you.
That's right.
After faithfully paying your tithes for all these decades. We got to be self-sufficient.
That's right.
Out in the street, people say, well, it's indecent. Don't call her a bitch. Do you know what the definition of a bitch is?
Exactly.
That's a high word. Some women and men can't even live up to what bitch means. Bitch means just a female dog. That's all it means. And when you see a female dog with their pups, they're feeding their pups. They're protecting their pups. They're doing the right thing by their pups. They're not sitting there going to the club and leaving the child at home by themselves, give them an extra dose of NyQuil in their bottle to fall asleep, and you come to the house full of fire, and the child's wandering around, and you get locked up.
Brother Lance,
One more thing. That mother is not going to let some stray man come inside because he got out of prison 2 weeks before. And I'm not knocking the brothers who are in there, because you had some good brothers that are in there. But I know in prison and in jail, when I used to work in both of those factions, the word is you want to find a good woman, you better go to church.
Exactly.
And the Boaz who wants your ass, and you know it, into your house with your young kids, and you compromise your children because you want to have some funky stink big dick man to lay up next to you. He eat coochie good and you just fall in love with him.
Oh dear.
The front, the back, up, top, bottom, turn you out. Girl, I think I met my Boaz. No, he didn't. You were horny. You ain't have a man for a while and it felt good. Because they do free dental work in prisons. His teeth look good. He had nothing else to do but work out. He was probably sucking off another man when he was in there, but you don't know that. You understand? You don't know what you get when you bring them around your kids. But nobody wants to talk real talk. We want to gloss it over. Oh, that's a nice brother you have there. Oh, are you going to get married soon? Knowing good and damn well that brother's rotten.
That's right.
We ain't really living holy. We just living horny and with something else.
That's right.
But who want to talk about that? Nobody wants to talk. Oh, you can't. We can't say that. We don't know this about these people. Yes, we do.
That's right.
Because you know what? In the newspapers, every day, somewhere in America, you see it come out in the news, and every day and every night is happening more than what we catch. Because when you hear these stories, oh, well, he's been doing this for 15 years. I'm 19 years old and he's been molesting me for 15 years. And he never missed a day at church. How about the young lady that I know personally? And I'm going to get her to come on to the show. I'm going to try to call her later on and get her to come on the show. It may not be tomorrow, but it's going to be within the next 2 weeks.
Yes.
Her mother was a crackhead. Her grandfather was a pastor. And the grandfather used to have his daughter, the crackhead, bring her daughter, 8 years old, over to his house, him being the grandfather. He would hit his daughter off with money and she would run off and go get all the crack that she wanted. And the pastor had his way with the granddaughter.
Oh my God, are you serious?
This went on for years. And she had a nervous breakdown. And one day she told me the whole story loud on the bus. I don't care. I don't care. And named out his name. And they were shocked to find out what pastor it is. And he's sitting up there talking about the goodness of the Lord and come to the house of God and how we have to be upright men. And you know how she said it? He was talking about how beautiful his granddaughter is. Talk about me. And while he was saying it to everybody, they were saying how such a good man he is. His cum was running down my leg. Oh, we got to talk about it like that. His cum was running down her leg on a hymen that was busted way too early, but he went up inside of her. So she had major issues with sexuality in the church. It made her very promiscuous.
Yes, yes.
And I understood. We talked for many months, and I understood what it was that she was going through. And I was the only one that she could trust to talk to about those things. And she said, yeah, you could mention it on your show. And one day I'm going to come on here and talk about it. But I can't talk about those things because we as Black people are so retarded. We are in a bigger dysfunctional family. It's not bad enough that slavery messed us up. White supremacy and criminality messed us up, bleaching our skin, straightening up our hair. But now we come and them spirits have transferred onto us, and we're doing to each other worse than what they even did in 2021. Right now, as we speak, don't you know there's a child being molested right now in the name of the Lord through somebody who's going to front on a Sunday and preach a sermon or act like they're upright and holy?
Listen.
Blow them all up.
You know the story that you mentioned to me about the woman that called you and she wants to expose the pastor and so on and so forth.
Yes, just a few days ago. Yes.
There's an email, a YouTube video about a particular pastor with I don't know if it's the same pastor. It sounds like it's the same pastor. I'll send you the link afterwards because I can't find it right now. I think it's the same pastor who has been doing exactly what she mentioned to you, swindling the people, screwing everybody, doing all of these different things, molesting the children, talking about the children who have disabilities and stuff like that. Yes, indeed. It's out there. So she's
right.
getting around. So
That's
if
right.
you can get her on, so she can come on. And
Oh yeah.
here's another thing that I want to say also. We know that the Bible has been, a lot of it is plagiarized from Kemet and the Book of the Dead and all these different writings from Egypt. We from melanated Black Egypt. We know that has happened, right? This is where you know that a lot of these people do not believe anything that they're preaching, especially the ones that have gone to theology school, the quote unquote educated ones, don't believe anything, because there is no way in the world that you can do extensive study, right? You're doing extensive study and research and not see the lie. You see what I'm saying? There's no way you cannot see the lie. But everything, once again, is all about money. Everything is all about money.
Exactly.
Once you're in there and you have you've become, what's the word? Addicted. You've become addicted to the money, to the fame, to the glorification that they give to you as an individual. You will, as a pastor, educated, you will forego everything that you know is true and real, and you will live the lie and feed the bullshit that you were told by your slave masters and your handlers to feed to your people. Okay? Why? How can you tell they don't believe anything, and they don't believe in hell, and they don't believe in heaven, and they don't believe in nothing? Because if they believed it, they wouldn't do the things they do. When you hear some of these stories that are coming out of the churches, there's no way, is no way in hell that you could believe anything that you preach, anything that you try to use to keep your members subservient and always coming back every Sunday. If you believed it, you would not live the life you live. There's no way. There's no way. And I say this all the time when we use this word Jesus. If that name was as powerful as they say it is, that Jesus, you couldn't use it as a curse word. Okay? You couldn't use it as a curse word. You couldn't walk around Jesus Christ or Jesus effing Christ. I don't even like saying it.
Right.
You couldn't say it. You couldn't be walking around saying God damn. You couldn't do it. You understand? Because the
Thank you,
minute
brother Raw.
thank you, Brother Rod, love you so much.
Love, brother.
The minute the first person used that as a curse word, it would have dropped. Okay? Because that's the amount of power that should be in that word. So this is how you know these people don't believe anything that they speak, because they're living against. I was gonna use another word, but
No, but it's crazy because we are supposed to be the police in our community, in our world, on a mental, spiritual, and physical level. They talk about, I have the authority of the Lord, but you punk out when stuff happens. Even when you standing alone as a man or woman of integrity, you're supposed to stand up in the face of this worldly so-called authority and not back down. Take my life if you want to. I'd rather give it for standing up for something than being a punk ass saying somebody else's name and can't do a damn thing, impotent.
Yes.
Unbelievable how these people carry on. Don't come to me with that and Jesus loves you and all this and that. You're supposed to be a damn warrior. You don't have to tell me what you are. If you perform the duty, I know who you are.
Yes.
Nobody else can fix my electricity and put my lights on, and you come in and volunteer and the lights come on. Guess what? You the electrician. You didn't have to come to the door and say it. The others couldn't do it. They said they were that. I'm a man of God. Don't tell me that. Show me that. And I don't mean God in the European sense. I just use it as verbal shorthand when we're talking here. You can say creator, you can say master of the universe, you can say the one that made me, whatever you want to say. I'm not going to get in here like some of these other people who, whether they're Christians or not, they want to pull you from one end of things to their version of what they think it is. Our minds are too limited, number one. How look at it this way. This universe, as we can conceptualize it, is so vast, the little part of it that we know. But if they tell you that light travels at 186,000 miles per second.
Ooh, you know that?
How fast that is per second? I think the only thing that's faster than that is the speed of thought. But that's something else. We're talking on a physical level. 186,000 miles per second. Shoot, the bad boy be fast if it traveled 186 feet per second. 186,000 miles per second. And now they talk about this next galaxy or this next whatever order of things, the stars out there. It's a million light years away. Do you know how far that is?
No.
So you talk about God and the creator. It is so vast. If he can move his hand, and we're going to say his and hand, we know there's got to be four. We understand that. But in our limited thinking, we have to say it that way. If he can move his hand to create all of that so far away, and his presence is there. How you worshiping this little jack-leg, snaggle-tooth, cross-eyed, bald spot having, patchy head, liver spot having pastor acting like he knows everything?
And why is he the only one that God speaks to? Why is he the only one that gets the word?
If you were to know everything that of the little we know, your damn head would explode like a light bulb falling out your hand and hitting the ground. We're no better than sperm. We're not even that good. You know why? We're not even living in our purpose. At least sperm know to wiggle his head and look for that egg. Now here we are as the one who won out on the race up the vaginal canal to hit that egg, and now we come into the next race, which is we're really within ourselves, not with each other, and we don't have a clue what to do.
Right.
Somebody else has taken us and rewired us. We are a spiritual people, but the enemy has studied us. Said, I got it. I can use their goodness. I can use their sense of spirituality against them. We'll give them this religion and they'll pour their heart into it. They know we're a musical people, and good music is the closest thing to physical spirituality that we could understand. How many times when you're sitting to yourself and you're reminiscing on an old friend that transitioned and passed away, and your favorite song that both you had came on, and you find yourself shedding a tear? Somebody who you haven't spoken to in a long time, but you're still good friends. Another song comes on to have you laughing, cracking up at this joke that you have between both of you. They know that we have this emotion, and the emotion is good. The emotion is good, but they got up under our hood and rewired us and took our desire for higher spirituality and put it merely into religion.
Made it basic. Yes, indeed.
They take the righteous desires and turn it around against us. When we see a picture of an apple or a mango or a banana, or actually see the banana, the mango, or the watermelon or the mango, our mouths are supposed to water because that's a natural desire. How in the hell
good it is?
We gonna see a picture of a hamburger and our mouths water? Now, I'm not knocking you if you like a chicken burger, hamburger, fish burger. All I'm saying is that look how our natural desires have been turned around to something artificial that doesn't grow in nature, but we lust after it. We have the next man looking at the next man and talking about, he looks so good. What the hell is this? What the hell is this? And yes, I will allow people who have certain perspectives and partial truths on to speak because we got sense, and I'll sit back and let people talk.
Yes.
That's why we got to take the good and leave the bad.
Yes.
So we got enough sense to go through that. But in this world, our natural desires have been twisted around. So our natural submission to all things righteous and spiritual has been turned around into the man-made religion. I don't care what religion it is. Animals out in the wild that we think we're better than, but we're no better than. We can be better than them. We're supposed to be higher thinkers than them, but we gave away all of that for the hijack thing that they gave us. They don't need no damn church. They don't need no damn religion. The animals don't need no damn school. They need each other to stoke the knowledge of who they are by being around each other. A squirrel knows how to be a squirrel by hanging around other squirrels.
That's right. That's right.
When the bigger squirrels hang around and play with the little squirrel, it's teaching the little squirrel when it's playing to know how to whip that tail and get your body up on out of there when danger is around. But it don't know that yet. But you doing the dry run.
Yes, indeed.
We've gotten away from nature.
Yes, indeed.
We've gotten away from these righteous downloads of spending time with each other. Mrs. Scurv didn't learn how to cook by going to no white man's school or reading no book. She sat up under her mother from 4 and 5 and 6 years old
and watched her.
And watched her for years and actually did better because she added on. There was no book.
Exactly.
She couldn't tell you the nutritional substance of this and how many calories are in that. But I bet you one thing, she can think up flavors in her head of different combinations of vegetables and things and come home and whip it up. It'll be just the way that she
thought it in her mind. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Nobody taught me how to draw. I took a pencil and I played around with it on the paper and put down what I saw. We don't need them. We don't need their religion. We don't need their schools.
We don't need to get back to our authentic self.
We have to learn and go to their schools for certification to be a slave in their system.
That's right.
When you have something that you cultivate that was given to you by the Most High, by the Creator, by the righteous God, I'll say
of the
that.
Universe, yes. Yeah,
that universe will make sure that you will always eat and always be in demand. And you're not supposed to walk around in fear that we walk in this Babylonian system because we're scared.
He's going to kill you. He's going to kill you. What,
they're going to take your skills?
Is that? You know, what is that? Why put you here? Why put man on earth if they're going to, if the God that put you here is going to kill you? Why give you free will to do as you want? If he's going to kill you if you don't do what he wants you to do? That makes no sense. That makes absolutely no sense. We have to start thinking. Those of you who are still in the church and still bound by it, open your mind. Start thinking. Start looking at the Bible and looking at what parts of it makes no damn sense. What part of it do you find that is like a bloody what's oxymoron? What part of it do you look at, and when you compare Old Testament to New Testament, it's like, and I know that, and I know the difference. But there were certain things in there that when you read it in one section and you go back into another section, it makes no damn sense. Case in point, in the Old Testament, they called Lucifer, and a lot of us already know this, but just for example, they call Lucifer the bright and morning star, right? It's in there in the Old Testament. He's the bright and morning star. What do they call Jesus in the New Testament? He's the bright and morning star. He's the fairest of 10,000. How do you have Lucifer, that we have ascribed the term devil to, right? How do you have Lucifer in the Old Testament being the same as the Jesus of the New Testament? Think about it. Think about it. How is that possible? So somewhere along the way, somebody decided to either make one a lie and one a truth, or both of them are a lie.
And yet our thinking is just so handicapped and corralled and chained down. We're the only people like this. Get rid of religion, y'all. Yes. These other people that are out here, they're not depending on that. They don't need that. They have what's inside of them, and they have the unity with all these different sects of church. And I said sex, not S-E-X, but S-E-C-T-S. Right. I think there was over in America 230 something different sects. And that was years ago. the Baptist this and this,
Right,
the
right, 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 right.
all these different ones, everybody pushing their chest out, acting like they know the answer. But if it's really one God, according to what you say,
why do we have all these different factions and denominations?
exactly, and why isn't it interchangeable?
Exactly.
I mean, if I drink water, clean water in America, and I come to Africa and drink clean water, shouldn't water be water?
And why? Yes. Okay. You have the Calvinites, the Luther, the what do you call that? What do you call that one again? Martin Luther, the Lutherans. You have this one, that one, the next one, all fleeing Europe because they couldn't speak and taught the philosophy that they had in their head, right? So they left and they came here to start up. Everybody has a different. Wait a minute. Everybody got a different download from the Creator. Everybody got a different download from God. And that's one of the reasons why there can be no cohesiveness in the church, because everybody thinks that they got the right message. You have the Jehovah Witness thinking they got the right message. You have the Seventh-day Adventists looking to a white woman for knowledge. And they regurgitate everything that she says, because guess what? She was the only person who could get the real information from God. Nobody else could get it from God. This is how they say it, from God. Nobody else could get it. Okay, so we have all these different factions bringing their own philosophy, their own way of looking at things, and people jump on it, and it separates us all, one from the other. Because you don't believe what I believe, I don't believe what the next man believes. How can we come together? We can't. We cannot come together.
It's impossible under that hierarchy. It's not going to happen. But as soon as we unify, we're doing something wrong. Someone had forwarded a YouTube video to me, and I took a look at it. And basically, it was many who are here in the motherland, born and raised, saying that we who come from America are the enemy, and we're militarily the enemy. They will say and plant people against our unity and try to distract us. And I'm telling you, here in the motherland, I haven't been to every country in Africa, just one, but I've seen a few, and I'm in communication with people who are in most of the other countries here. And we have very frank discussions, and information is forwarded to me. And as soon as the so-called C-19 thing is over with and I can travel freely, which I can still travel freely, I just don't want to go anywhere and get stuck. I will be going to other countries here to do speaking engagements and meet with people for the platform. Not that I know so much, but we all can add in a little something. And I've been invited to several places, and I can't wait. But the bottom line is, if we get rid of this religion, get rid of it. Or if you have it and it's near and dear to you, put that bad boy away. Just the same way some of you Christians who say it's bad to drink alcohol, but behind the side of your couch, you got a little tip of something that you can sip on. Or you talk about, oh, you can't have the sinful thoughts of sex when you're single, but you got that battery operated boyfriend or that big jar of Vaseline ready to stroke yourself to sleep before you go to bed at night.
That's
so hypocritical.
You have these young women who are turning themselves into spinsters, to old women, never married, never having a man, never having had sex, or had sex and then decided that now that they have come to Jesus, they're not going to have sex anymore because they're going to follow everything to the letter of the book. Okay, or they're going to follow everything to the teachings of the pastor and keep themselves pure. And never, no, I'm talking about the ones that literally live it to the letter and don't have sex anymore. Don't even, they're afraid to have a man look at them. They won't even put themselves in, fix themselves up in any manner that they are attractive to a man.
Anything attractive must be deleted and taken away. And that's so sick. You can see the frustration on them. Let me tell you about them women, man. And I'm not knocking my sisters, but there are some women like that. They're ready to explode. They're ready to look. I knew of a woman like that who was a year younger than me.
And
I'm going to say it this way. She was raised strictly in the church, and the mother was very strict over her. And I'm going to say it like this. and maybe I'm saying too much, but I have to say it. She had a situation when she was about 14, 15 years old, and the mother would never let her go out. She had a beautiful body, and I'm a year older than her, so I ain't no pedophile saying that. Well, I used to look at her because I was 15 and she was 14. Right. She had an hourglass shape, everything. And, you know, men were looking at her. She was in her feelings, and this is back in the 70s. She snuck out one night on a Saturday night and went to this party around the corner. Actually, she just hopped the fence. Well, there was a little crack in the fence, and she slipped over in the middle of the night and went over there and put on this tight stuff and was dancing her tail off. I mean, she was swinging it. She was having, she was free for a little while. Yes. I mean, she was going to explode. I'm not saying you got to go out there and push your daughter out into a situation like that, but she was held back so much, she couldn't help it. Right. Wouldn't you know, her back slipped out? Her back slipped out. She had a slip disc behind that. She doing dance moves and moving her body in all kind of ways. And the mother did not want to take her to the chiropractor. The mother said God punished her for slipping out and going to that party. It would not merely go get a chiropractic adjustment. And so she was walking crooked for the rest of her life, to the point where one butt cheek shriveled up and got small. And she walked on a tippy toe because on one side, because of the sciatic nerve damage that came from the pinched nerve. I had a pinched nerve. I had the sciatic nerve thing going on before. When I was doing bodybuilding, I had trained and I had slipped and messed up. And all it took was a physical adjustment. This was no punishment from God. The punishment you gave was that you didn't let your daughter experience different things, not to go out into the world or anything like that, but just, introduce them slowly, tell them what the deal is. And so this young lady, who also had a darker chocolate, beautiful complexion, was beat down mentally because her mother, they would say things about, you're black, you're ashy and you're black and you chocolate and all this stuff. And that girl was such a beautiful girl. My
God, that's a damn
She died about 10 years ago. And I found out on Facebook. We would try to keep in contact, but it was a big family. And it had been years before that since I spoke with her. But when you see her photos, you can see the frustration in her face for dressing up in a way. And she was always up under the mother for the rest of her life, as a grown woman.
If there is a hell, let's just put it like this right now. The God that she used to, do this horror to her daughter, if there is a hell, she's in that hell right now. She's in that hell right now.
I'm telling you.
That mother is in hell right now.
That young, I won't say her name, but she was never touched. She was never held. She was never told how beautiful. We're not even talking about in a lustful way, because the proper way of things is that, okay, when you get horny and you're older, it comes righteously through the romantic love. In the perfect world, you get with somebody, you hold, you feel this magical feeling, and you explore each other. And it doesn't mean like you're out there as some whore. No, it's a beautiful thing, and you explore each other's bodies and put your mouth here and lick here and taste there, and you discover this new world and you're just in bliss. She never had that release. I could look in her eyes and tell you that she didn't even sneak and do nothing with her own hand, but she was so hyper from within. I know. And me and another close friend talked about this too. We weren't making fun of her. We used to say, man, listen, one of us need to go over there and just say, hey, come over here and give me a kiss, and just give us some. Right. Just give us some loving. Just lay back and feel good. Blame me. Call me the devil. Whatever. Release this woman, man. She's trapped.
Sad.
And so much of them are walking around dead.
And you see?
Yeah. There'll be periods where you don't do things and you say, for this period, I'm going to be to myself and focus on myself. Don't mean you have to be giving it away to everybody else, but the natural joy when you see a woman with her man and they have their kids and you see the glow on them looking so youthful. They can be 50 and 60 years old, and it's not just about sex, but they have their home together. They're watching their kids play and run around that they created. They have the beautiful home. It could be a shack, it could be a mansion, but it's a beautiful home. There's love in there. And you see that woman who is getting up in age, but she still got a nice shape because the father, the husband, he's utilizing that bad boy and he looks young, and their eyes are for each other, and they have that thing that they probably doing when the lights go out. The kids don't know, but they do something special, and they in there giggling and laughing and having a good time, and they fall asleep in each other's arms, and they have that happiness. And too much times the church meddles around in people's lives and makes them feel bad about something so natural. Let me tell you something too about all these rituals and stuff that go on in the church. And you must talk to the pastor and consult with him and find out. He want to be all up in your business, all up in your sex life. Let me tell you something. What happened if there was no church? What happened if there was no pastor? Who you choose to lay with and say to your creator, this is the one for me, then that's the one for them.
That's the one for you. That's it. That's it.
If we make a conscious decision to be with each other and to commit to each other, what the hell I need some white man licensed downtown and paper, and all of a sudden you want a divorce, you got to go pay him again. When you do it the right way, there ain't no divorce. If you find somebody who's really for you and let the natural things happen, and you know yourself and you were raised right by a village and parents who taught you right, you know who that one is. And you crave that one. And stop being feeling guilty when you lusting after your mate. When you a man and you woman's ass and you looking at her titties, looking at her, and that's your them pretty legs thrown on you and them lips and whatnot. There ain't nothing wrong with that, man.
That's
but they
what
don't
keeps
teach
us
that.
young. That's what keeps
us right.
Good
The
loving, good loving. We're not talking about good lusting. We're talking about good, righteous loving between two people. Preferably a man and a woman, because to me, there's just no connection better than that. I don't know any other connection. That's the only one I know. But listen, good, righteous loving.
And there's a spiritual element to that people don't understand.
It
you understand? So when you go around, and we're going to talk about that. Maybe we'll talk about that tomorrow.
Yes.
That article I wrote about sexually transmitted demons.
Yes.
I'll find that and I'll put it inside the thing before we end off and whatnot. But there's so many elements to that you jump around with all kind of people. You're gonna have all kind of spirits on you.
Yes.
And you'll be clogged up. Your filters will be clogged up. You won't be pure no more.
Yes.
Now, if a wife loses a husband and he passes away and transitions, unfortunately, a little too early, she don't have to feel guilty. I know it's not going to be the next day when she jumps in the bed with nobody, but she can pursue, or she can choose to say, you know what, in his memory, I'm going to keep this to myself and I'm going to live out my years because he's still the one.
Right. That's true. And that will still keep her young because her memories are there. Those beautiful memories are there. You know, listen, we could go on with this thing.
Yes.
We could go on and on with this thing, you know, because there's so many layers to how Christianity has damaged us. So many layers, you know, religion has damaged us, you know, and we have to step away from religion and get back to our spiritual self. Get back to your spiritual self. You know, as you were talking about that young lady, you know, we all come into this world with a purpose, and we all come into this world for something, for someone. We don't come for ourselves. That's the one thing that we need to recognize. Okay? We don't just come into this world to do whatever we want to do. We come to teach a lesson to somebody, or we come to learn a lesson. Okay? And as you were talking about that young girl, I'm thinking to myself, what was the lesson that she came to teach someone? You know what I'm saying? Did someone somewhere who encountered her learn something from her? Did she learn something from someone? Did she fulfill the purpose that she came here for? You know, in the midst, did another parent see what this mother did to her and say, oh my God, I would never do that to my child? You know, you as a young boy, a young man seeing this, did it make you say to yourself, oh my God, if I ever had girls, I would never inflict, and I would never want to see my wife inflict that on any of my children? You understand what I'm saying? She came for a purpose. And I hope that whatever the purpose was, well, she had to have fulfilled it, or else she wouldn't have exited out of here. But I hope somebody recognizes it.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Wow. My dear sister.
Yes, sir.
I guess it's about that time. We're going to wrap it down, and we're going to be back. We're going to be back tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Creator willing, and the world is still here.
We're going to keep it riveting. We're going to keep it powerful.
Yes.
And we're just going to keep it real. I can't keep it no other way. People use that, oh, well, we'll keep it real just because people drop a few curses. Yeah, we dropped a few curses, but that's not all that you need to keep things real. You got to be bold. You got to just say what it is. And when you hear something,
we didn't drop any curses
real,
because we didn't put any spells on anybody. We used words.
Exactly.
We used words.
Yeah, exactly. We use words like spices, like seasoning and whatnot.
Yes.
Because people are using them out here anyway for other reasons and other purposes. But you know when you hear something that is authentic, that it resonates with you.
Exactly.
And like I said, we're all out here exploring and trying to ascend and make ourselves better, but we can't hold down the falsehoods anymore. We can't uphold the fallacies just to be cool with people. I don't care if the world leaves me alone. I'm going to say what I see to be the truth, and I'm not going to back down from it unless you can prove to me otherwise. There may have been things that I said 10 and 20 and 30 years ago that may not be what I say now because I have evolved. And 10 years from now, hopefully I'll be a better version of myself than I am now because I am open for correction. I don't come out here thinking I know everything. I just express myself from the perspectives that I see right now. As those perspectives evolve, I will evolve, and hopefully I'm pretty much where I should be. Maybe there'll be a 5% evolution process with me, but hopefully not a 95% thing because it means that I'm completely off right now. So collectively, we can share and sharpen and hone and perfect each other. Iron sharpens iron, truth sharpens truth. I can't call myself a truth teller and be a punk to speak it when the spotlight is on me. So that's why I don't care if I'm on a Dr. Drew show or I'm on this show or that show. And I ain't going to be on the white men shows no time soon because they don't like me. And it's okay.
That's right.
But they listen. It ain't all of us right here listening right now.
Oh, no. I'm looking at it. I'm looking at some of these comments, man.
Exactly.
I'm just choosing not to steamroll, but I'm looking,
They can get it. They can get it.
I know.
They can get it.
I know.
But
like I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to the chat room because listen, there's a lot of truth coming out of this chat room. We can't touch on everything. You know what I'm saying? So it's nice to see the folks. And Sister Sonia, you are speaking a whole lot of truth in the things that you're saying. And I appreciate you for dropping it in here. And everybody else, Sister Synovia, and everybody else, thank you for putting what for enlightening us with your wisdom. Because, we don't know everything. A lot of what we're speaking today, we're speaking from experience. We've experienced these things. We have been bamboozled ourselves. We're not just talking off the top of our heads. Okay, we know that a lot of these people don't believe what they preach to us, and we get caught up in it, and we're the ones that are being fooled. And just because we use the word God, we've been conditioned all our lives to say God. Now, when you say it, you best know who you're referring to. If your spirit don't know who you're referring to, if you use that term because it just comes out because you're accustomed to saying it, there you have a problem. Know who you're speaking to. And yes, Sister Sonia, the universe is not masculine because the universe is forever growing and reproducing. But you know what? That's another thing that we have to extricate from our consciousness and from our vocabulary is always using masculine terminologies, and we'll get there. If we are sincere in what we're doing, in how we're trying to live and what we're trying to project, we'll get there. But in the meantime, listen with your spirit, not just your ears. Listen with your spirit. So when we say certain things, from where we speak. And on that note, like I said, thank you, Brother Lance.
Yes, my sister.
I'm always happy when you're my guest.
I'm a happy guest, and I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me. There's always one that pops into the last minute.
I know.
Mr. Untouchable, how you doing, brother? It said Christianity hasn't caused retardation. I know that Christianity has helped a lot of men I know put down the gun. But of course it has. I agree with you, Mr. Untouchable. Let's put his comment right up in the front. I'm going to say it again. People say, why is he agreeing with him? I'm going to tell you why I agree, right? Look, okay, here you go. Boom. Where's it? Okay, Christianity hasn't caused retardation. I know that Christianity has helped a lot of men I know put down the gun because Christianity has made them docile as to who their enemy really is and put down the gun and let the white man, the enemy, and the system infiltrate his Black African strong mind and turn him into a victim. Now, see, if there wasn't for the Christianity, he would have kept the gun in his hand and used it and destroyed the enemy. So that's every slave castle that I've gone to, every slave dungeon that I've gone to, because I'm here in Accra, Ghana, has a church in it to keep you from using the gun. You are 100% correct.
Yeah, because
they're right. Yeah. Just Christianity one-on-one at its best. Yeah. Put our weapons down against our enemy and let us screw us over.
You see, what they did, what those men that put down their guns needed to recognize is that they weren't supposed to be using the guns to kill their own kind or kill anybody, but kill their own kind. Okay, they were using the guns wrongly, incorrectly.
There you go.
I'm not Donald Trump. Wrongly.
There you go. No, we wrap it down, but I had to say that. I'm in total agreement with you. It's caused us to not fight our enemy and love our enemy. Christianity is good for that, and it does a whole lot of that. And if you're in agreement with that, then trust me, the cross threads are on your head, and you're targeted for death on so many different levels, mentally, physically, and spiritually. So go and worship your Jesus. Go and worship Jesus.
They still don't get it. We're not denouncing spirituality. We're not denouncing that there's a creator. You know, we know who we when we pray, or using the word, when we speak to our creator and we speak to our ancestors, we know to whom we speak. We know who we're trying to imagine in our mind's eye when we call out for help or we call out for assistance. We're not trying to look at this thing that you see up on this banner right here. That's not who we're looking to. We know who we're looking to. And that's what everyone who's coming in here and saying that we're wrong and we're not saying the right things, start looking into yourself. When you pray and you close your eyes, why are you closing your eyes? Why are you closing your eyes? Open your eyes. Look up to the heavens. Look up to the stars. Look up. Look up and say what you have to say. Anyways.
Yes, we'll continue on tomorrow. 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will be back here, and it's been a pleasure. And I just had to extend those few more minutes just to
hit the like button, everyone. There's a lot of you still in the chat that haven't liked it. I mean, you're here, so you must be liking something about it. If not, hit the thumbs down button. But you're still here. So go ahead and hit the like button, and we thank you for everything.
I know one of the people out there, he's sitting there, that damn Lance got my picture in the thumbnail, and I'm going to deal with him. How dare he use me? And he drew that picture on LanceScurv.com with me looking like a walrus. I'm going to get him. Anyway.
Stop it. Stop it.
Go to LanceScurv.com, y'all. You'll see it on the homepage on the right side. Little picture I did of TD Jakes, right? Anyway.
All right. Sister. Take care, everyone. Have a good day. Much love to you, Brother Lance.
Okay.
All right.
Peace out.